Chapter 43. Tommy and Old Sneakers. There were notes. One was on my bed when I came back from seeing Marvin that morning. It was from Mom. One was slipped into my backpack at the bus stop. It was from Tommy. Mom's note said, I didn't tell your dad anything last night. I'm telling him today when the game warden comes back. We both have the day off. We'll see you when you get home. Tommy's note said, I'm really sorry for punching you and starting the turf war. My mom told me I should thank you for not saying anything about it, so I guess thanks. I don't really like these other kids that much. I thought you should know that. And please tell Annie I'm sorry about kissing her. On the way to school, Annie chatting in my ear the whole way about how I was going to be famous, I thought about loners. Marvin was a loner, even with his family. He was still on his own. I was a loner. My dad was a loner, and my mom was too. Even though they were married loners. Annie was a loner because people called her putrid and because of her backyard play prison. Even Tommy was a loner because he was stuck with a bunch of boys he didn't like but hung out with anyway. We were all loners because we felt like we had to do what someone else told us to do. I wondered when we would just be able to do what felt right. I wondered when we'd be able to be ourselves and not be called names. I wondered when we could wear old sneakers. Middle school was coming. Dances and awkward stuff I didn't want to think about. I wanted to be 11 forever, but I knew how time worked. 100 years ago, time moved at the exact same pace. 100 years ago, boys grew up and girls grew up, and nothing much had changed except now we played video games when we used to play and work outside, I guess. Annie was still talking. I felt bad for not listening. I was having a different kind of day, a big day. The last thing I heard her say was, Okay, I'll see you then. I looked at her and tried to understand when she'd see me, or where. I felt like the worst friend in the world right then. I should have told her about Marvin the day I found him, but then again, we were all loners. We got off the bus, and I headed to Miss G's room to tell her that I saw Marvin that morning. Hey, Obie, Tommy yelled from behind me. Wait up. I waited. Oh, hi, I said. Did you read my note? Yeah, thanks. Did you tell Annie I'm sorry? No, I said. You're going to have to do that yourself. Oh, he said, I guess. I wanted to tell him I missed him, but I couldn't. Not because Dad told me that boys aren't supposed to have feelings, not because he'd once sucker punched me in the nose, but because I wasn't sure if I missed him. Can we hang out this weekend? He asked. Really? My mom told me about Marvin, he said. I mean, she doesn't know that's his name, but you know what I mean. We're not allowed anywhere near him, I said. The game warden has it all cordoned off. I saw you down there this morning, he said. Anyway, I don't want to see Marvin. I want to go burying things, like the old days. I thought about how my things were buried all over the development, and it made me sad. I wish I could dig them all up. I don't want to bury things anymore, I said. Tommy looked at me weird, and I looked at him weird. Neither of us knew what had happened to us. Maybe he tried to grow up by wearing the right kind of sneakers and failed. Maybe I didn't try to grow up, but accidentally did by enduring everything I'd gone through since he'd sucker punched me in the nose, and by finding Marvin Gardens. I'll come over after lunch one day, he said. When he walked away, I saw he was wearing a new pair of sneakers. Not the fancy kind, the kind he always used to wear. I poked my head into Miss G's room and saw other kids there, her homeroom kids, and I walked in and said, Thank you for Dr. Carey and everything. Thank you for Marvin Gardens. Pretty amazing, right? I asked. Pretty amazing, she said. I didn't know Tommy was still behind me. When I turned around, he said, Dude, she just winked at you, like he was jealous. I've been working on my contest project with her is all, I said. But she winked. How could anyone have a crush on a teacher? It was so weird. But she did wink, and it did make me smile. I didn't have a crush on her, but I hoped that when I was 30 and she was in her 80s, we could sometimes meet and eat lunch together or something. Not a typical loner thought, but maybe I wasn't meant to be a loner forever.